Okay, we are now back in open session. Unless there's any other business to come before the committee of the whole, we are adjourned at 5:20, and we'll go on with the other committees.
Okay, I'll call the Public Works Committee to order at 5:18. First up is 2026-087, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Melway Paving Company, Inc. for the 2026 Summit County 405 resurfacing program in an amount not to exceed $1,354,193.80 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. We're going to have quite a few of these coming up. This is our regional pavement maintenance program. This first one is for our 405 resurfacing. That's just a type of pavement treatment. There's 422, which is a chip seal. 405 is kind of, they bring some asphalt out there, they mix it with what's already there and then lay it back down and cover it with chip seal. We have Bath Township, Richfield Township, Springfield Township, and Twinsburg. They will all be part of this contract. The county's share of it will be $346,659.25. We received one bid for this, Melway Paving, which is usual. We usually only get one bid on this. And earlier I sent out the list of roads to all of your emails, so you know what type of treatment will be done on what road. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Heidi. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of the council? Okay, may I have a motion? Ms. Darrow moved on 2026-087. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next up is 2026-088, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Melway Paving Company, Inc. for the 2026 Summit County 422 resurfacing program in an amount not to exceed $1,287,188.95 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the chip seal program. We've got Bath, Copley, Coventry, Richfield, Springfield, and Sagamore Hills all joining this contract with us. The county shares $186,933.60, and we received two bids for this one, and the lowest was Melway again.
Great. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council?
Is this just like a surfacing thing? A
Yes.
change? Okay.
Yes, resurfacing treatment to the road.
So each one is different.
It is. It's actually, the numbers are based on the size of the stone that they use in the resurfacing treatment.
Okay.
Any other questions? May I have a motion? Mr. LeCompte moved on 2026-088. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next up, 2026-089, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Barbicus Construction Company, Inc. for the 2026 Summit County 441 Asphalt Concrete 449 Resurfacing Program North in an amount not to exceed $4,442,203.94 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. The 441 resurfacing is probably what you think of when you think of a road resurfacing. They mill it down and bring out hot mix asphalt and lay it back down. It's obviously the priciest kind of resurfacing you can do. The county share of this one is $2,060,644. We've got Bath, the Metro Parks, Monroe Falls, Richfield Township, Sagamore Hills Township, and Twinsburg Township all on this contract. Let's see, we got 9 bid packages were sent out, and we received 4 bids, and Barbicus out of Akron was the lowest bidder.
Great. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council?
Yes. What is the longevity of doing it the more expensive way compared to?
So is this on? Okay. I could tell you in my annual reporting for like the chip seal, I use a 5-year lifespan for that. And for the full hot mix resurfacing, you can either use 20 years or 15 years. I am more conservative and say 15-year lifespan for a full hot mix resurfacing.
And they actually pull up the asphalt and
Yep.
mix it in and put it back down?
No,
No.
for the full resurfacing, they
Yeah.
mill off the asphalt and haul it away and then bring in
okay.
hot asphalt and
Okay.
pack it down.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions? May I have a motion? Ms. Darrow moved on 2026-089. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. 2026-090, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Barbicus Construction Company, Inc. for the 2026 Summit County 441 Asphalt Concrete 449 Resurfacing Program South in an amount not to exceed $1,113,144.50 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Exact same thing, except for the southern part of the county. We sent out 7 bid packages. We received 6. Barbicus was the lowest again, and Copley and Springfield joined us on this contract. I would also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention former Councilman Jerry Feeman for all of these regional resurfacing contracts where the county opened up our contracting process, allowing villages, cities, and townships to join us, saying maybe we get a better unit cost the bigger our contract is.
Right, absolutely. Heidi, question for you. With these contracts, once we approve them, will the companies lock in their price given what's happening with oil?
Yes.
How important that is to asphalt?
Yep,
Okay,
they
so
are
we're
locked in when they sign the contract.
Okay, okay.
But I mean, they might try.
But we're in good standing to protect
Yes.
ourselves.
Yeah, for right now, we're looking okay. And we're building that into our estimates anyways before things go out to bid.
Gotcha.
We're anticipating a higher price for the asphalt.
Okay, great. Any questions from members of the committee?
I have a question.
Ms. Darrow?
I mean, what's the time frame? Is this going to, we're going to start on all these projects? Is it going to be like spring until end of fall or?
Thankfully, we're getting them done pretty early this year through the approval process. We can start probably in May, and it will go all the way through until October, just depending on what type. You'll see pavement marking contract coming up. We'll have to do that last after all the roads are resurfaces, so it kind of just depends. But all summer long.
Great. Any other questions from members of the council?
I'll move.
Thank you. Ms. Hyam moved on 2026-090. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next up is 2026-091, a resolution authorizing the executive on behalf of the engineer to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation's annual road salt bid for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
So speaking of larger agencies getting us better unit prices, we join ODOT's road salt contract and we get their prices. ODOT District 4 goes out to bid, gets all the prices, and then we just send them legislation saying we would like, and we lock into, we'll buy this many tons a year, and we can go 20% over or 20% below.
Great, great.
But their prices have been better than the other CUE purchasing cooperative have been in the last few years, so we're going to stick with them, well, for a while.
Okay, great. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? Hearing none, may I have a motion? Ms. Hyam moved on 2026-091. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Next up, 2026-092, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with GovWell Technologies, Inc. for the implementation of the GovWell software modules and services for a 3-year term with 5 additional 1-year renewal options in an amount not to exceed $487,000 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services, Division of Building Standards and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Chris Randalls, Chief Building Official, Summit County Building Standards. We currently have a permit software system that we're using. We've been using that for the last 4 or 5 years. We were notified last year that the current version that we're using was being sunsetted, and we would have to upgrade to a newer version. So we started looking into upgrading with our current vendor. We decided that it might be a good opportunity for us to look outside as well. So we put an RFP together. We had 5 software vendors respond, and GovWell came back as the most responsive to what we were looking to have. So we're not going to stay with our current vendor, but we're going to move to this new software. This price of $487,000, that includes all the implementation costs and our subscription for 3 years. They have a 5% escalator on the subscription price every year, which is typical from what we've seen from these software vendors. And we will be having some new tools that we'll be able to offer the public with this new vendor.
Great, thank you. In the spirit of Jerry Feeman's great work on our road contracts, is there any way that we could work with others to get in on contracts, people who are seeking the same type of software, where Summit County, ABCD folks could all come together and get better prices, or does that not work in IT?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for this particular software is pretty much tailored towards permitting for building permits. We are working it into our sanitary sewer permits office as well. So those 2 offices will be, and quite frankly, we serve virtually every building department for every community outside of 4 or 5 throughout the county. So this software is pretty unique to that service. So to answer your question in a very long and boring way, no, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? May I have a motion?
So moved.
It was a tie. We have a motion on 2026-092. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is 2026-093, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute any agreements, memorandums of understanding, or other documents necessary to participate with the City of Monroe Falls in applying for Ohio Public Works Commission grant funding for Project Q463-1, Trudy Avenue Infrastructure Improvement located in the City of Monroe Falls in Council District 3 at a cost to the county not to exceed $110,100 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewers and declaring an emergency. Mr. Vinay.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Michael Vinay, Director of Sanitary Sewer Services for Executive Shapiro. These next 2 pieces of legislation are virtually the same. We are joining both communities in applying for OPWC grant funding. They have plans to reconstruct these roads that are listed in the legislation in order to obtain a more achievable score on their application. It helps to have other governmental agencies join that project. We typically join these projects like we have in the last several years in Mogador to line the sewers while they're constructing the streets. Obviously, this is much more cost effective for us because there's already a contractor mobilized out there, and we're also getting the OPWC grant funding. So this lining is important, as council knows. You know, the rain event last week, these lining projects tighten up our system and prevent further I&I. We do have further lining projects slated in the future in the city of Hudson, in the village of Lakemore. Those will be coming to you as well. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments you'd like to on this? No, other than thank you, council. Great, thank you, sir. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council? May I have a motion? Okay, Mr. Lacotte moves on 2026-093. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. And last on the agenda is 2026-094, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute any agreements, memorandums of understanding, or other documents necessary to participate in the Village of Mogador in applying for Ohio Public Works Commission grant funding for Project Q 969-8, Curtis Street, Kavanaugh Drive, and Kester Avenue infrastructure improvement located in the Village of Mogador in Council District 8 at a cost to the county not to exceed $75,000 for the Executive Department of Sanitary Sewer Services and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Perfect timing with the rain. So virtually the same project, lining the sewers in Mogador, partnering with Mayor Rick and their team out there. Again, we've been doing this for several years. It's proven to be very successful, and I'm sure we'll see the same type of project next year. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Mr. Vinay. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council, may I have a motion? Ms. Hyam moved on 2026-094. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
And I will close Public Works at 5:34.
Planning and Economic Development will open at 5:34. Our first item this evening is 2026-095, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Technique Roofing Systems LLC at TIPS pricing for the Juvenile Courthouse and Detention Roof Replacement Project located in the city of Akron in Council District 6 for an estimated cost not to exceed $878,869 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency. Joe.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants Department under the County Executive. We're going to put a roof on Juvenile Court. There's 6 separate roofs at that campus. 5 of the 6 were roofed in 2004. The 6th one was in 2019. We're not doing that one with this contract, but we searched some prices, got some pricings back from 2 area vendors. Technique was able to give us a good co-op with the TIPS pricing, where we're saving several $100,000. It's going to be paid for out of the general fund capital improvement budget, and it's going to include a 30-year warranty and annual inspections to keep up on the maintenance of the roof. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Joe? Do I have a motion? A motion from Mr. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
Did you say a 30-year warranty?
That's correct.
That's pretty great.
30 years
want
it's built
that.
into the contract price. We're using, it's called Duralast. It's like a hybrid type PVC coating membrane. We're able to get 30 years out of it. No. Not that I'm aware of, no, sir. They fix it.
Yep. Any other questions? I have a motion from Mr. Wellhite on 2026-095. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. 2026-096, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with HCW Environmental Consultants, LLC, for an asbestos and regulated hazardous materials survey at various county buildings located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 and 6 in an amount not to exceed $168,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency.
This contract, we put out an RFP to 5 area environmental consultants. We received 3 responses, and HCW came back with the highest rating qualification statement. It's going to look at both the courthouse, the safety building, and juvenile court, where we have upcoming construction projects, and do a survey for both asbestos and any other hazardous materials that we may find. It's going to be funded out of the general fund. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
For Joe on this one? Ms. Hyam, do you want to move? I have a motion from Ms. Hyam on 2026-096. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. 2026-097, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with the Seal and Restoration LLC at cooperative purchase pricing for stairwell coating in the central and north stairwells of the Summit County parking deck located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 in an amount not to exceed $167,546 for the Executive's Department of Physical Plants Emergency. You got a little one-man show going on tonight, Joe.
Yes. So as we finished up our maintenance and repair project at the parking deck downtown, we noticed some paint failure in the interior stairwells. We had some back and forth with the contractor and painting sub, and have decided to exercise the county's right to bring in another vendor and redo those stairwells. This contract's more of a contract for a new vendor rather than more money. We're going to use the funds from the existing contract that's in place to pay for this. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about that.
So just to clarify, Joe, they're not like issuing a refund. We just hadn't paid them for it, and we're changing vendors because their work wasn't up to par.
That's correct. We have
Okay.
retainage funds held back to pay for it.
Great. Any questions? Joe, you want to move on that? I have a motion from Mr. Kajan on 2026-097. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Joe. Planning and Economic Development will close at 5:39.
Good evening. Public Safety will open at 5:39. We have one item, 2026-098, a resolution confirming the award of the Board of Control of a renewal of the Master Service Agreement with Needle Incorporated doing business as Aurelian to process non-emergency calls using an automated voice assistance for various Summit County public safety answering points for implementation, and a one-year term for the period of 5/1/26 through 4/30/27, an amount not to exceed $234,000 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety, and declaring an emergency. Lori.
Good evening, Lori Pesci, Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. This, as the resolution states, this is a renewal for our artificial call handling system. It answers non-emergency calls. It does not answer 911 calls. I need to clarify that every time we talk about it. The Summit Emergency Communications Center, the City of Akron, South Summit and Green and Bath Township are all using it. It has answered about 200,000 calls over the last year. Noise complaints, parking issues, when are fireworks, things like that, those kinds of questions. Barking dogs, yes, sir. The SECC has seen improvements in answering times. They answer the calls in less than 15 seconds. It's gone from 95.5% to a 97.6% rating. And Akron has seen a significant improvement as well. And this system is paid for through 911 funds.
Any questions from the committee? Mr. Kajan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Lori, what testing do we do? Because this is a voice recognition type software, is that right?
It's artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so it's not a press one type. This is it listens and talks normally.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Error rates and things like that. Do we have data? Are we tracking and testing this to see if it's diverting calls to the right places?
Yes, so the SEC implemented last July. They have weekly meetings to discuss, to do QA on the system and how it's learning and how it's responding to calls. And they have made improvements throughout the last year on the system.
The kind of things, I've gotten 2 complaints about it over the years. It's
Okay.
not, over the year, I should say. Nothing major, simple errors you can see it making, things like calling to make a complaint and getting diverted to how to pull a complaint in archives, that kind of stuff. And, you could see how that would be easy enough. But I also don't know, do we have data to compare it to, because I'm sure those same errors happened from a caller hitting the wrong number too, right? If you have an automated system where you dial numbers instead, the caller might misdirect themselves. Do we have any way to compare that kind of thing?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Is this a learning artificial intelligence?
Yes.
It trains itself over time?
It does, and it also senses tone, and so if the tone of the caller there's a sense of urgency, it will transfer the call to 911. If they say keywords, it will transfer the call to 911. So they have put as many fail-safes into the system as they possibly could.
And the other complaint I got was from internal to the, an employee complaint. And
Sure.
their complaint was more an inability to bypass the system and go directly to who they wanted to talk to.
That, I have heard that complaint more than once. David O'Neill, who's the director at the center, if it came from the, an SECC internal, one of their departments or whatever, he has met with all the departments. There are mechanisms in place for officers to bypass. There's mechanisms in place for elected officials to bypass. So like the mayors of those communities should be able to bypass. If you want to give me that person's name offline, happy to talk about it. But there were complaints, but there are specific things put in place to allow officers and elected officials from the communities to bypass.
Perfect. Thank you, Lori.
Sure.
Mr. Ford? Good? Okay. Questions from the council? We have a motion. Mr. Ford moves on 2026-098. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public safety will close at 5:47.
547, Health and Human Services Committee meeting will come to an order. 2026-099, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a temporary assistance to needy families agreement with Tri-County Jobs for Ohio's Graduates JOG for the 2026 Summer Youth Employment Program Outreach and Eligibility Services for the period of 4/1/26 through 8/31/26 in an amount not to exceed $150,000 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services emergency.
Hi, good evening. Heather Yannion, the County Executive's Department of Job and Family Services. It's that time of year again. We are here to talk about our summer youth program. Thank you, Monique, for passing out our flyers. We had these produced. So this contract is specifically for JOG to provide the summer youth program services. They're going to be doing youth recruitment with an emphasis on trying to have a bigger presence in out of the city of Akron. On top of, obviously, the majority of the kids come from the city, but we've asked JOG to help us with recruitment this year. The last couple of years we were using YSS and some, it seemed to be very APS driven, and we get a lot of APS kids, so we asked JOG to help us get outside of the APS footprint. The program is for 8 weeks. Jobs actually physically start on June 8th. We're serving ages 16 to 18, 20 hours a week at $15 an hour. We are basically mirroring exactly what we did last year. There was no program changes at all other than some of the recruitment efforts. We're going to target, our funds are going to allow us to target about 215 youth. Last year we served 258 youth. We actually shot our target by a little bit because we did not have the fall off that we traditionally had in the past. And actually 59% of those youth aligned with, got job placements that aligned with their career pathways if they were an APS student. Also last year we started collaborating with the Buckeye State Credit Union they've allowed us to have these youth open bank accounts without having their parents sign on them. That started last year and we're continuing that this year with them. So I take any questions.
Any questions from members of the committee? Members of council?
What time do the employers have to have the information filled out and for the program?
You mean to be a work site?
Yeah, the work. I know they have to fill out some paperwork and stuff. So what's the time frame on that?
It doesn't. If they engage now, if an employer engages now, it it takes maybe a week or two. They have to fill out the paperwork. We have to do an orientation with them,
Right.
and that kind of thing. So it doesn't take long. The sooner they start the process, the better, just because we get an onslaught. We're going to do orientations actually here at the Job Center on the and with the youth placement at the end of May. So that's when the kids will actually walk away with their jobs on those 2 Saturdays. So if they can contact JOG in the month of April, that's the best they could do, Ms. Darrow.
Any other questions from council? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2026-100, a resolution declaring the month of April 2026 as Autism Acceptance Month in Summit County, recognizing all individuals in our community on the autism spectrum and celebrating the numerous ways in which they contribute to our communities and our lives, for the executive and declaring an emergency.
Yes, good evening. I'm Nathan Briggs, the Executive Director for Autism Society of Greater Akron. This is Melanie Timko, our Director of Development. I just want to open first by saying thank you very much for the opportunity to connect with you and speak with you about Autism Acceptance Month. And the word acceptance is truly the important part of this from our perspective, as it is not acceptance in that autism, it's okay to have autism, because of course it is. It is the idea that autism is, the acceptance that autism is. And as an example of that, we had an event at the Black Family Wellness Expo here in Akron several weeks ago, and a young gentleman, as part of a new campaign that we are using to help create connections that empower everyone in the community with the resources to live a full life from the perspective of autism, that he made a chain that you were made perfect, and the idea that the acceptance is that you were made perfect, because we are. And we are using this as the basis of being able to help raise both awareness and acceptance of our community. And as an example of how powerful this is, my board chair, Tim Pyatt, extends his apologies for not being able to be here this evening, because he is, in the manifestation of this idea of acceptance, with his son in this lovely weather, his son Sam, who is diagnosed with autism, at his Scholastic tennis team's first match of the season, where he is participating as a full member of that tennis team. So Tim is there this evening, extends his apologies in being able to not be here this evening because of that. However, we are grateful to be able to be here with you tonight and to say thank you for recognition with this resolution of just how important it is for us to be able to promote the acceptance of autism here in Akron and the other 5 counties that we support, with Summit, Stark, Medina, Portage, and Wayne counties. So thank you very much.
And council as a whole?
Yes.
All right. Any questions?
Sure, it is Autism Acceptance Month.
April.
Month of April. Yep. Yep.
So I've got a motion from Councilwoman McKinney. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
2026-101, a resolution declaring the month of April 2026 as Minority Health Month in Summit County, recognizing the health inequalities facing minority communities and encouraging all health organizations to conduct appropriate programs and activities to promote healthfulness in minority communities for the executive, and declaring an emergency.
Hi, everybody. My name is Demaria Thompson. I am a family health coordinator at Summit County Public Health. One of my jobs is to work on our Office of Minority Health grant. This will be my 3rd year working on that grant. I just wanted to share 2 events that we're planning for this month. The first one will be a community baby shower in partnership with Akron Pregnancy Services. So we're looking to have at least 30 pregnant women come to this event. We'll have giveaways. We're going to have 4 different presentations. We'll have someone from WIC to talk about breastfeeding. We'll have someone from Birthing Beautiful Communities to talk about the support of doulas and the importance of doulas. We're going to have Akron Children's to talk about safe sleep, car seat safety, and then at the end, they will also provide car seat safety checks for any of the families who would like to participate. And then we will have someone from the U.S. Department of Labor to talk about FMLA for our moms who work, and then also to talk about the Pump Act so that they understand that when they're working, it is their right to have privacy to provide breast milk for their baby. It's our second year doing this event. Last year we had about 60 people, so we kind of had to cut it in half just with the space and the timing. But it's something I'm looking very forward to, just because it's just a good way to not only get the education out there, but also to provide a safe space for families to gather, for moms to gather, to actually celebrate their baby and not be so focused on some of the hard things that they may be going through. The second thing we're going to be doing is our annual health and wellness fair at Metro. That's going to be on April 29th from 12 to 2. It is a very popular event for us. That day, all of the people at Metro just love it. We usually have DJ Smooth there to provide live music. Last year I had about 35 vendors, so I'm hoping to have more than that. But in the past, we provided free haircuts. We've done STI testing, blood pressure testing. But it's just a space where people can just walk around. We have giveaways. They can just kind of see the organizations who are there. We kind of try to touch on every single thing. But it's something that I think is beautiful for the community, just to not only get the education, learn about different things, but actually see the people that are supposed to be helping you, and to actually have those same organizations see the people that they're helping too.
Sure. No, this is great. I actually had an opportunity to go to the health and wellness fair last year, and it was great. And I think I've witnessed the community baby shower. Did you guys do this at the House of the Lord?
Oh, yeah, that one we do every year. This one's separate, but yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So no, the health and wellness fair I went to last year, it was great. It was well attended and lots of very useful information for folks that attended. Are there any questions from members of council? Committee? May I have a motion? Oh, council as a whole. All right, that's wonderful. Council as a whole, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And I will call Health and Human Services Committee to a close at 5:55. Thank you.
And we'll open up finance at 5:55. We have two items. 2026-102, a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $160,000 of bonds of the Akron Summit Public Library District for the purpose of constructing, adding to, renovating, remodeling, furnishing, equipping, and otherwise improving library buildings and facilities, and acquiring, clearing, and improving the sites thereof, and declaring it an emergency.
Good evening. Michelle Allman, Executive Director for Akron Summit County Public Library System. I was here 6 weeks ago where you had approved our sale of notes for $12.5 million to get us going with our system-wide capital repairs. So we are doing improvements to all 19 of our locations, and that is already underway. So we are seeking the process to begin to sell the remainder of our bonds to fund this probably like 6 to 8 year long process. So I don't know if I talked a little bit about the project before. I don't know if you have any questions about it or would like me to go into detail about any certain part.
Committee question?
I have a two-part question. One is probably for you, and I apologize. Remind me the process from here on out. We approve these bonds, and then what other oversight? That's it?
That's it. We're out.
Okay, then I'm going to have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Can you walk me through, because this is a lot of money,
Yes.
where you are in your bidding and procurement process, and how many Summit County firms you have hired, and just kind of talk about what your process has been like so that we're kind of knowing who you're working with.
Sure. So we started before we went onto the ballot to seek the funds, the capital bond issue. We worked with a design firm out of Cleveland called Bostwick, who has a lot of experience working with public libraries, and we did a feasibility study, and that led us to get information from our staff and from the community to determine what we would be asking the voters for. So we went out for a $1 million bond issue. And after that, we continued working with Bostwick to do system-wide design work. So we're going to be working with them to design all of the interior renovations, which is kind of half of the work that's needed. The other half are more repairs needed, such as replacing roofs and parking lots, and some HVACs, those sorts of things. So that we are following the state ORC bidding procurement process. And so the first thing that we've done so far are the 3 roofs for the first 3 branches. And I believe those were awarded at our last board meeting to Mansueto Roofing Company, but we haven't really gotten to the point of bidding anything else yet. We are working with Independence as a construction manager at risk, and they were hired for main library and the first 3 branches. So we're anticipating doing 6 phases of branches, and then main library work will be taking place kind of throughout the whole, probably over the next 3 to 4 years. So other than the roofs, we haven't bid any of the work yet. We're still in the process of doing the design work and haven't started any of the other repairs or roofs.
Did any Summit County firms bid on the roofing work?
I don't have those details in front of me right now, of which I think we might have had 3 bids for each of the 3 roofs. And I'd have to look that up. I can let you know, but I don't know offhand which all firms bid on the roofs.
Got it. And then is there a project labor agreement in place for all these projects?
I do not believe so. I don't believe so. I think we're going to be working on putting together bid packages, and we'll have language in there in terms of union work and also preference to Summit County firms once we move forward with that, and that will probably happen in the next couple of months, but we haven't put anything out to bid yet for those first 3 branches other than the roofs.
Can I ask another technical question? Is there a way to do this in smaller chunks? Just because, not that I don't trust you, it's a lot of money and a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know who is bidding. We don't know if there's going to be PLAs in place. Or do we just do it all? Is that normal to do all of it all at once?
It could be broken up any way you want to break it up.
Okay. It's not, I just if this was any other agency, this would all come back before us for approval every step of the way. And again, it's not an issue of your ability or transparency, but $160 million out the door with no further oversight, that's a lot to me. And so I would love this. I'd love to be able to check in a little bit more over 8 years on how procurement is going, if county firms are getting the jobs, if we're hiring union employees on these jobs. And I don't want to slow this down. Can we take it to second reading next week and have some time to talk about it, about I guess I'd be curious to hear from you, why do you need all $160 million all at once?
I think part of it was we worked with Stiefel and also Retzel for bond counsel, and I was actually here 6 weeks ago when the board decided to sell the rest, so I wasn't in that meeting, but I know there's a cost every time we go out. There's a cost to do the sale, and we were able to do one sale and have it still be the $1 million. So we did it in an effort to save money and to also have less, I guess, the way that we're tracking it, being able to keep track of the funds and knowing, okay, we're almost out of this round of sales that we did, and being able to time it to know when to go back again.
Yeah.
We were advised by both our legal counsel and the folks we're working with for the bond that being able to do it once, there are some advantages to it, because we wouldn't have to be as careful with the timing to make sure that we're requesting money for the next sale before we were to run out. And they said we were able to fit it into one sale since it's a 1 mil issue.
Yeah, but sorry. My other response to that would, I guess, be like, don't we want some of those safeguards in place? So like there is some kind of like, hey, we just spent 60 million taxpayer dollars. How did that go? Should we reevaluate our plan? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I guess I have a question on the bond issue too. So if you're going to go out with all 160 million, this is an 8-year capital plan. Was there discussion about arbitrage?
What is that? Decode for all of the plebes up here on the dais, please.
Under the Internal Revenue Code, when you issue bonds as a tax-exempt entity, you have, it's generally, there's a rule of 18 or 36 months to complete the project and spend the bond proceeds.
Oh.
After that, if you have not, and you are earning interest on the deposit of those funds that exceed the interest you're paying on those bonds, there are arbitrage penalties that kick in. That you have to be,
where do those arbitrage penalties go?
The library would be responsible for paying those arbitrage.
To whom?
To the IRS.
Yeah, we need to have a little more discussion on this one. Can we put this one on? Well, can we get a meeting together before
it sounds like
next Monday?
Maybe we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're like, why don't we do second reading, see if we can figure some things out this week, and then if we can't, we'll put it on time.
Well, I have a question. So, because you were just asked, she asked you a question, and you guys said that you guys are still getting, you guys are still doing bids or whatever, okay? So, like, I was at Nordonia Hills Library, which serves 5 of my communities, just on Friday, and they're closing for a year. So, and then we're going to have to use other libraries, and so she was letting me know because I'm in there all the time, and then that's one of the places I do my meet and greets, and so, so I'm going to have to go to Twinsburg, which is not part of that library system. It's crazy, but anyhow, so how is it that they're closing and you guys don't even have bids in?
Because they're not closing until August 1st, so we will probably be going out to bid the inside work for that before then. Talmadge is closed already, so their roof project itself will take 6 months before they start the interior renovations. The first 3 branches are Nordonia Hills, Ellett, and Talmadge. So Ellett will be closing next on June 1st, and then Nordonia Hills last. They're able to stay open during their roof work, so we'll be going out to bid sometime this summer for like the interior renovation work. So it hasn't happened yet, but we're getting closer, and we're anticipating the interior renovation after the roofs are complete on these first 3 branches to take about 8 months. So we do have things in place where the bookmobile will be on site once or twice a week at these locations that are closed. We have information out about the closest branches within our system, which I know for Nordonia Hills is a little bit different since they're not closer to one of our other locations. But all 3 of the librarians at each of the branches are also continuing programming at different locations to be able to maintain connections and continue doing book discussions and story times during the closure. And the staff will be working elsewhere.
That's what they told me. Now, my next question to you is, because and Brian, does this, so there's board members. I know that there's 4 or 5 board members that make decisions.
We have 7 trustees on our board of trustees.
Right, so are they the ones that are doing, do they have something to do with these bonds? They have to vote on that.
Yes, our finance committee approved the resolution before going to county.
Yeah.
And sorry, if I can follow up, is that finance committee then who will be responsible for overseeing all of these funds and all of the bids and making all those decisions? Are those meetings?
We also have a buildings and grounds committee that is kind of more focused on the capital repair work and bidding, procurement processes. That would be our buildings and grounds committee.
Are all those meetings open to the public? Great.
Yes.
And how do you advertise them?
On our website and through Akron Beacon Journal.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And council, I want to make sure everybody, under the revised code, the county is essentially the taxing authority for a countywide library. So our role is really limited to the approval of placing a levy on the ballot and the approval of a bond issuance when those bonds are issued because of that levy that was approved. So our oversight role is pretty limited. And it does not mean as the taxing authority, we should not be asking all these questions, right? And so I guess we hadn't really talked through all that. I wasn't completely aware that the plan was to go issue all 160 million. I thought this was just getting that approval. But
Brian, that's why I wanted to know about the board members. So it's not our authority, it's the board members.
It's the board's, yeah, the board
Okay,
is.
that's what I thought, because I believe me, I've been into it with that board, let me just tell you.
Brian, some of those board members come through us for approval though as well,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
How
we
many
have
of the
some
7 come through county?
I'd have to check on that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's important to remember too, this is a bond issuance, so it's taking on debt authorized by the voters already last May. And the person who owes the debt is the library. Their board is independent of us, and they're wanting to do this. So, to me, the voters already approved this idea. They want their libraries remade. It's been 24 years. I think our scope's fairly limited on that.
I think you're right, but I think council certainly has the right to ask questions and get updates on as we go. So we just probably need to talk about what that process looks like.
John, Brian, is there, as sort of a stopgap, given what our statutory authority is in this process, are we allowed to escrow anything so that before we release it?
We don't do any of that. That would be yeah. Michelle, do you know when they're planning to do the bond issuance?
I believe we're looking at mid-June.
Okay.
So we did the short sale of the notes, the 12.5 million, and we do have that money in the bank now. So that's primarily funding the 3 roof replacements, but also like the costs for our design professionals.
Okay. And I just wonder too, Brian, if there's ever been an instance before in the county where we've done a bond issuance of this size for an 8-year period all at once.
We have not, no.
Okay.
I guess, Michelle, what might make sense is to ask Stiefel and Retzel. I know Justin Markey's been working on this. If they could come to the next committee meeting in 2 weeks. And then you guys, I think it makes sense to put this through on second reading, but then not to approve it next week, but extend it beyond that and come back to committee in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, too, we could have some discussion about what a reporting process to keep council members in the loop, whether that's coming back like on a quarterly or semi-annual basis to provide updates to council on the projects and how they're going.
All right.
Retzel's, well, yeah, I mean, Retzel is that's their bond counsel for this, and Stiefel, I assume, is doing all the advisory work.
Correct.
And so, I'd be curious to see, they have to have thought through all that, and/or it's a staged over a number of years. So I think some more information on all that would be helpful too.
Okay. So 2 weeks from today?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I will just end by saying we do have a public landing page up right now, akronlibrary.org/building our future, where it does have a timeline of where we are, and it'll continue to be updated to see where we are with the progress at our different locations. So thank you very much.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. I'd like you to make a second reading only.
I will make the motion.
Thank you so
I move
much.
that this be second reading only.
Ms. Walters moves on for second reading on 2026-102. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Our last item is 2026-103, a resolution authorizing various county offices to make expenditures in a total combined amount not to exceed $105,000 for hospitality items for events to be held in 2026 for the executive and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Phil Montgomery from Executive Shapiro's Department of Finance and Budget. This is annual legislation that we bring to council to increase hospitality line items for certain offices and agencies. Codified ordinances 177 caps countywide hospitality expenditures at $5,000 annually, unless exemptions are requested from council. These are the ones that we know come through every year, like the Common Police Court General Division, the Emergency Management Agency, those offices and departments that have to feed emergency responders and have to host trainings, and that we know about it. So this year's total is the same as last year, $105,000, split across 6 agencies. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.